Hey guys, Professor Fat Shady from the University of Trials, here today to do a little bit of I guess a speedrun tutorial. I've always said this is going to be very difficult to do given the way that I kind of film these things live, but I'm going to have a crack at it. What I want to focus on is Eye of the Storm, simply because that's something I guess I find I could probably, speedrun a little easier. It only works with two hands, right? Anyway, so let's get in and have a look at this. The key thing about, so this is kind of going to be a bit more of a discussion about the approach to speedrunning than it is, a detailed explanation, because to be perfectly honest, each track requires its own unique approach. And you also need to have a very good understanding and appreciation of each of the obstacles and what body position you need to be in to commence a particular jump. And what you're trying to do is get, and I haven't played this for a while, so I'm probably rusty to start off with, but what you want to be able to do is string all of your jumps together. And what that means is you need to understand the body position to be in for the jump, and at the conclusion of the preceding jump, you need to be in that right position, right? I've not done this justice as a speed run, but you get the idea. First time out in a little while, and yeah, 42 seconds Eye of the Storm. But even then, you can kind of see, even though I did that quite poorly, it was, to me, it's about making sure. So as you complete one jump, you're in the right, you're landing in the right body position for the jump immediately afterwards. Alright? You obviously want to minimize height and do all that rest of that stuff, but it's about understanding, it's really just about linking those jumps together. And it's not easy to do, and on the harder, and the harder difficulty, the worse it gets. To be honest, I think the best place to practice is probably on some hard difficulty tracks where the obstacles are still challenging enough. And you'll do a lot of that. You'll make stupid mistakes, because that's the thing. This is now where you're going for that one good run, as opposed to just sort of trying to get zero fault. You're trying to string them all together. So you'll see here, I do tutorials on consecutive bunny hops. I mean, that's crucial. The way you approach the jumps is not entirely different to what you normally do, but as you can see, you're trying not to let... You basically don't want your momentum to just drop off in any... you're kidding me. That would have been awesome. You're trying to let your momentum drop off. So as you see here, I kind of, I land here, but when I land, I'm already in the position with my body weight falling forward, rotate my bike, consecutive bunny hops as opposed to stopping on any of those. Not that you probably wouldn't already. So for the moment, I just wanted to make, I guess, this video as a bit of a, just a bit of a speedrun discussion, and then maybe what we can do is start getting into a bit more detail around it. But I just don't. What this channel's always been about hasn't been. I'll teach you how to get through an extreme track, and I'll teach you a consistent way to get through an extreme track. But then what it's about doing is taking what you've learnt. And that's why I teach in so much detail, because I want you to be able to take what you've learned and then be able to apply it to custom tracks, be able to apply it to the concept of speedrunning as well. Let's have a look. So let's have a quick look at this track now. So as you can see, it's really just about minimizing. You see all the ghosts there. A lot of people better than me at the moment on this account. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, just consecutive bunny hops, but like transitioning from one into the other. So I don't spend a huge amount of time, you have a look at any idle time, and that's what you want to get rid of in a speed run. You want that idle time to be gone. There we go. There you go, 40 seconds. Oh, come on now, connect. So you can already start seeing you sort of improving, and I mean, you only really get to this point once you are, I don't know, I want to say hundreds of times through the track, probably not, and it depends on your experience and everything else, but I tend to find that don't even bother speedrunning until you can almost, it doesn't have to be consistently zero fault, but you need to be zero faulting it pretty regularly and pretty easily to even attempt a speedrun. once you get to that point, and I will say for newer people to this, hard tracks are probably better. I tend to find speedrunning an easy extreme like this, or hard tracks, to be one of the most satisfying parts of this game, because you just feel like a badass. You just feel awesome. And the good thing is you get rewarded with some really cool times. Beat it. Ah, I choked. 0.159. So maybe this is what this is going to be. I mean, this is probably I did make a video similar to this a little while back on this exact same track, because I do find this is one of the most fun ones for me to speedrun, just because I can do it somewhat consistently. But you just watch all the transitions that I've got here. Like, I'm almost accelerated down the whole way, and it's just about trying to find the right way to land. Ah, choked. Yeah, speedruns are always about the landing, so you've got to anticipate, you've got to know the track intimately, not that intimately, get out of the gutter, but you need to know the track very well, and you need to be able to zero fault it largely on demand, and then you need to know exactly what body position do I need to be in to start the next jump, and make sure the landing of the preceding jump puts you into that position, if that makes sense. So here, just a little tap of the back wheel, so I get over that. Go, so yeah, bunny hop there, back wheel down, flick up, that, back wheel hop, this, stay seated here, up and over. Never gonna get Muzza. Guy's a freak. Come on, don't choke. There we go, 39.8. And this is kind of what you'll end up doing. Right, speedrunning is about that progression. You start off zero faulting a track, and I know a lot of people have said, thanks to my videos, they're starting to understand the track, but now they want to get into, I guess, that next progression. So this is kind of me starting that discussion. And the funny thing is, a lot of the time, so if you've got a particular, like, maybe what I'll also ask is if someone sees a particular track where someone's, done a particularly good transition or done a particular thing, let me know in the comments what sort of, speedrun transition you're having difficulties with, and I'll see if I can put something together, maybe a bit of a slow motion, a bit more detailed discussion. Because a lot of the times, right, like, I'll know, and I think I talked about this in Rock of Rages, and there was that sort of that double jump on Rock of Rages, and I ended up teaching somebody about the fact that there was this really subtle little forward flick before I started the particular bunny hop. I did this little forward flick. It was about changing my body weight. I had a very, very specific reason. It happens in a millisecond. But there's a very specific reason for doing it. And speedrunning is very much the same. There's a lot of little subtle movements and adjustments that happen here that are sort of instinct for the guys doing them. And you may miss them watching a full speed replay. So, like I said, I think the best thing is, if there's something in this video, please let me know and I'll happily go over it. Like, even there's a little forward flick. But yeah, if you see someone else's replays that just do something a little crazy and a little cool, or transition in a particularly good way, you just call that out, and I will happily get to it. Come on, 39.4. And I guess when you get good at, and I'm far from being good at speedrunning. Damn, 2 hands. Anyway, I'm far from being good at speedrunning, but I think at least that'll give you an idea of the approach. Is you kind of start with zero fault, and then gradually try and link a few other jumps together, and then gradually link a few more. And think about it. Anywhere you find yourself stopping and pausing is an area where you need to go back and rethink your approach, and maybe you just need to go slower so you land with sufficient run-up. It's a crazy ending, by the way. And eventually you'll be able to link all of the jumps together, and once you've linked all of the jumps together, then it's about trying to make them more fluid. Once they're more fluid, then you try and do them faster, and just keep repeating the process. And I really get a lot of enjoyment out of progressing to that level. It's where you start getting the good times. But as I said, hard and extreme tracks is really where I find the fun. But you can do that kind of stuff anywhere. But anyway, that's enough for me. Rambling discussion about speedrunning, but hopefully that gave you a few pointers about the approach. Let me know if there's any particular tracks. I mean, don't come back to me and say Inferno 4. I still can't speedrun it. It'll take me a while before I can get that consistently. But If there is any particular tracks that you want me to have a bit of a talk about, or importantly a particular transition or jump or obstacle, let me know and I'll see if I can break it down for you. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll keep making more of these things. Cheers.